week one is typically the fourth preseason game. You're going to try to get up, and you're going to realize, oh, I can't get up. Like there's no way. So teams like that, they're going to have persistent issues. The Titans, I think the Rams are going to have those issues too. I don't think the Rams are going to be the Rams of old. I think that left tackle position is a problem. The running back position is a real problem too. And the wide receiver room is decimated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at me.
Benchmark. They're speaking the facts that you wanna hear. They rep a jersey, the vision is clear. Diamonds glisten like a chandelier. You know what I'm here for, like Marshawn Lynch. At clutch time, we do not flinch. Real brothers, we do not switch. Hit home runs with the right pitch. Who run the city? What to do when they hating on you? I feel like Kobe 2010. Taking an L, all I need is a win. Business is business, you know how they go. You clearing the seats, now it's time to grow. Tuning now, gotta be in the know. Showtime, bitch, my butter blow.
I ain't seen from now. Miles, he was really, I was trying to tell you.
Benchmark Podcast. What's up, bro? Oh my God. Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of the Benchmark ENT. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, share it with a friend. Miles, smooth operator Davenport, how you doing tonight?
I've been better, but you know, it's only up from here. That's all I'm gonna say right now.
CJ, Cincinnati's very own. How you doing?
We're gonna get into the game. But I got a little pet peeve I need to get off my chest real quick. That's unrelated to sports. New York has to do better. I'm not talking about the Jets. I'm not talking about the Knicks. I'm not talking about the Yankees. I'm talking about the city of New York. I went into the office today for the first time, right? Bro, every street corner in Manhattan smells like piss. Every single street corner. It is
that's nothing new.
That's New York. What do you mean?
No, bro. Today was foul. I was in close corridors on the subway in 82-degree weather. Bro, if you are holding on to the metal thing, your armpit should not be smelling musty. And there was too many people that was just comfortable smelling musty. Way too many people. And these people have jobs. These people have hot water at their house. People are just walking around smelling musty because it's comfortable. So
it must smell like Old Spice in Cincinnati, because I don't know.
You got jokes. It smells like good hygiene is what it smells like. But that's my little pet peeve. So I'm a little annoyed today.
Hey, Greg, Mr. Hot Takes, debate your mother sins, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing a little better than Miles and Chris. Let's put it that way. I'm doing a little better than them. I ain't smell no weird odors today in New York. And I don't know nothing about. I mean, that's just New York, by the way, Chris. I don't know, bro. You ain't been there.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem. Like, we accept that. Nah.
I don't be going out there. That's the thing. I don't go out there.
I ain't gonna be going out there anymore either. Put it frank, because that show is crazy, bro.
Week 1 of the NFL is done. We're looking forward to week 2. No Tyreek, no problem. Pat Mahomes looked like Pat Mahomes. They had no Tyreek, and he balled out. 365 TDs. He really could have had 7 TDs if he wanted. And he had what? 76.9% completion rate? Tyreek Hill balled out. What was y'all takeaways from watching that Chiefs game and seeing they ain't miss a step?
Pat Mahomes gonna do what Pat Mahomes does. Pat Mahomes is great. He's getting paid all that money for a reason. He was 30 of 39. Like, Tyreek Hill, it doesn't matter if he's there or not. He has other weapons that he can go to. I'm really impressed with Travis Kelce and how consistent he can be, in his career. Like, it seems like no one can really stop him at that position. He plays tight end, but he runs his routes like a wide receiver, and he's just a mismatch all day long for these linebackers. So, he did his thing like he normally does, but yeah, man, the Chiefs ain't missed a step, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire came up big too. Obviously last year being injured a ton, him catching 2 touchdowns, this Chiefs team is going to be scary.
Yo, how long before you think Travis Kelce is the best tight end ever in history?
Ooh, good question. Who we putting above him right now?
I feel like it's all relative though, because I mean, they throw it way more in this NFL. So of course his numbers are going to be a lot better than what, Tony Gonzalez, Shannon Sharp. Who else could we name that's a top tight end?
Gronk. I think Gronk is the best one of all time.
Yeah, I think Gronk has it just based on titles alone.
It's a combination of things. But I think if he keeps going on this track and they can win a couple more rings and all that, and they can, you can obviously consider him one of probably the greatest, right? Because Travis Kelce is a complete package. I don't know if he's as good of a blocker as Gronk is. And, there's a lot more to, playing the position than just being fancy with your feet and all that. But I think, no, seriously, but I think that
they called him a ballerina.
Travis plays the way he looked, but that's the reality of it. And Gronk played the way he looked, and so, you can put those two things together. It makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I think Gronk is probably the greatest because he's the greatest combination of both things. He's a receiving threat, and he's also a guy who will block and move and maul people in the run game. And I don't know, Travis Kelce's a mauler in the run game. So maybe that's the difference. But, you win a couple more rings, you can have that conversation. But the question that ran through my mind is, are the Cardinals ass?
That's what I was thinking.
Right. I didn't take – the Chiefs are what the Chiefs are. Fine. They're really good. But are you guys really 38 points better than that Cardinals team? So what are the Cardinals? That's the real question for me. Was Kyler Murray playing Call of Duty the night before? I don't understand. What happened?
I feel like we knew this was going to happen though, because no D-Hop. When D-Hop's not in the lineup, it's not really.
Yeah, but are we going to give him a pass again because D-Hop's not in the lineup? I feel like at some point we need to hold Kyler Murray accountable. Kyler Murray just got paid $189 million guaranteed money, $230 million deal. At some point, D-Hop or not, you got to be that guy. He didn't put together those 2 scoring drives till the fourth quarter when the game was already out of reach. There's no reason for Kyler Murray to be this out of sync when you're getting paid that much money. You got to find a way to get your team in a rhythm early.
I mean, he's throwing to AJ Green and who knows who else, Greg Dortch. These guys, I don't think these are the winning options for this team. Not to make any more excuses. So we'll see what happens in week 2 against the Raiders.
I think that my man Cliff Kingsbury can get fired if this thing continues. They don't, if they don't have a good season here, it'll be over. It'll be over, and it'll be over fast. That franchise has been pretty impatient about winning since they've gotten Kyler Murray. They feel like this is their window, and they don't feel like they're taking advantage of their window, and they're right about that.
Yeah,
and games like this don't make you feel any better about that. So Cliff Kingsbury's job is on the line. I feel like this year he's in a hot seat, and I feel like no one's really talking about that.
Because I think
he just got an extension.
Cliff, they gave Cliff, the GM, and Kyler all got extensions.
Yes, all 3 of them got extensions.
But Cliff couldn't get fired after this season if they underperform.
It depends how much money they gave him.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I'm not sure how that's.
I think he would get 1 more year after this.
Yeah. My problem with Kyler Murray is not the studying film or anything like that. I'm sure that plays a part in it too. But when you listen to him in his press conference after the game, he's talking like it's not his fault, like nothing happened. And I think it's an accountability aspect, and that's what they was talking about in the offseason. When he approached the media at the end of the game, he was saying, we got to do a better job executing, and it comes down to execution at the end of the day. But he never took accountability as the leader of that offense, as the leader of that team, and said, look, it starts with me. I got to play better. I got to get my team in a rhythm early. What are you doing? Putting together 2 fourth-quarter drives when their backups are already in, that's not doing anything.
Yeah, his stats look way better because of that.
Exactly. Yeah, 22 of 34 for 190-something yards. Come on, bro. You struggled all game.
Terrible. Other quarterbacks that struggled, Trey Lance, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford. Out of all these quarterbacks that I kind of just mentioned right here, I know it's only week 1, and we love to do this. Who are we most concerned about? It's obviously that we're just making it bigger than what it is. But based off this week 1, who gives you the most concern after their performance as a quarterback? I might have to throw Trey Lance in that conversation.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily, just off the fact that they were playing in, a hurricane game. there was puddles every time you stepped on that field. So I don't think Trey Lance was at fault because it's not like Justin Fields really played that great either. He did throw 2 touchdowns, but it was an ugly game. It was a really ugly game. So I think let's give him a couple weeks. Again, he was raw coming out. Didn't want him to play last year. This is kind of his rookie season right here to move and improve. But yeah, I'm not ready to give up on him yet. I've heard people, kind of slandering his name, which is fine. Like, you don't like him as a quarterback, cool. But you kind of have to give him a chance to, get those lumps out this year.
I wonder why they don't like him. Just saying, I don't know. But yo, seriously, I'm not shaking his head. I'm right. I'm right. But nah, I mean,
it's because of his barber. That's why they don't like him.
Yeah, all right. That shit, it's receding. There's no barber that can save that hairline. It's done. But it's over him. I don't. I have concern. I guess I have a little concern, a little bit, but it's like small. Because Justin Fields played well on the other side. I feel like he played well. I feel like he made plays and needed to make plays. He reversed field, threw a ball across the field. It was a really nice play. He made things happen, and he had a really nice throw to one of the St. Brown brothers. He had a really, really nice throw in the corner of the end zone too that he made. Justin Fields looked great. He looked great. I know it's not about who looked great; it's about who you're concerned about. But I would say Trey Lance was concerning. Baker Mayfield had some concerning moments in that Browns game, his revenge tour, where he says he's gonna F them up. He ain't F nobody up, right? So it just didn't look. It didn't look great on that side either, right? And this is Baker's last dance too. We don't talk about it because we don't talk about Daniel Jones' last dance and all that other stuff. But this is his last dance. Like the Joe Burrow thing, I don't have any concern. He's great. The great ones are gonna have stinkers. It is what it is. That Steelers defense will make anybody look like a fool. It's a great defense, just is. And I know certain Bengals fans that took them too lightly, and they learned their lesson. I hope. But like the reality is that defense is really good. The other side of it is a team of Baker Mayfield who didn't play a great defense and really struggled. Just like it's one of those things where you have concerns seeing that. You have concerns seeing guys in year 4 make a lot of the same mistakes. And that's where you get a little concerned there. So I think Baker's really the guy who stands up to me as the most concerning out of all of the guys who struggled this weekend.
Are we concerned about Derek Carr and his 3 interceptions? I mean,
Derek Carr is what he is. He is what he is. He ain't that good. Like, he is what he is. He's solid. He's all right. You can win the ring with him, I guess. Like, you can. But he's okay.
Yeah, but to have the pieces, I get it. Chargers have a great defense too. Probably one of the best defenses in the league. But to have the pieces that he had on the outside and to make those costly mistakes as a veteran, you got to throw his name in that conversation as well for players that you're concerned about.
If I'm gonna do that, then I gotta be concerned about Joe Burrow, and I'm not concerned. You know what I mean?
No, you can't put Joe Burrow and Derek Carr in the same scale. Relax.
Derek Carr built some equity. It's okay. Like he is what he is. It's gonna be ups. It's gonna be downs. It'd be like Kirk Cousins having a bad game, which he probably will next week. Like, you know what I mean? But Kirk Cousins, I know what he is. Like, I know his body already. I know what that is. So I don't expect greatness from him. I don't. This is the reason why I don't think the Vikings are serious. I think they're cute. They're fun. But they're not serious to me. We'll talk about it. But because of him. It's because of him. It's not because of the roster. The roster is great. It's because of their quarterback. You know what I mean? Like,
we're gonna talk about the Vikings, that's for sure.
All right.
Because Kirk out there looking like the damn thing right now.
All right.
Look on the other side. We gotta talk about A-Rod.
Oh, we getting into it? We getting into it right now?
Chris mentioned he ain't really had no targets. He ain't had nobody really to throw it to. And it looked like that. 22 for 34, only 195, 1 interception, and a fumble loss, no TDs for Aaron Rodgers. Any concern with that team? Just because it seemed like he ain't got nobody to throw to.
Yeah.
I think he'll figure it out.
I do too.
I love hearing that. I really do. Yo, listen, y'all can have that basketball-ish. That's y'all conversation, right? But leave this football-ish to me. Leave this to me because I called this a few months back. First of all,
So they clinched. Hold up, they clinched the division already.
What happened?
Right.
You clinched.
Yo, and I like what you said in the text message too about we basing everything off of week one, but there really is a problem with Green Bay. Like, and it starts with the offensive line. Aaron Rodgers was getting beat up. He was getting beat up. Their offensive line looked very, very suspect. And if you're banking on Sammy Watkins, who, first of all, when people think about Sammy Watkins, what do you think about? You don't think about the highlights that he did in the NFL. There's not many highlights of Sammy Watkins in the NFL to go off of. So when Sammy Watkins' name carries weight because of what he did in college. He's been around the league. He's been around the league for quite some time now. So if you're banking on him being the main target for Green Bay, like, you can throw that out the window because that's not going to happen. Watson, that rookie from North Dakota State, dropped a wide open touchdown pass, and you can see the level of frustration in Aaron Rodgers' face after these plays with these guys because they're young. And he called them out in preseason. He said, like, hey, they're dropping catches in practice, and it doesn't look good right now. They gotta pick it up, and here they come out again, week one flat. He just doesn't have the security blanket that he once had in Davante Adams, and it's definitely starting to show. Obviously, Allen Lazard was out. He was injured. But even when you get him back and Robert Tonyan's there, like, yes, he'll have those connections. He'll be able to make things work. He'll be able to move the ball down the field, but not to the same level that he could with Davante Adams. And it's really going to show because these players, some players aren't meant to be starters right away, right? And Davante Adams leaving forces Dubs and Christian Watson to step up when maybe they're not even ready. A lot of players need to sit back, learn from the guy in front of them for a year, and you can't expect greatness out of them right away just because they're playing with Aaron Rodgers. That's a lot of pressure.
Hold on real quick. Run the brakes.
Yeah.
No, seriously. Okay, because you said you got the football stuff, but you addressed half the story. You're addressing half the story. The other side of this is that the Packers have let Aaron Rodgers down, which you've been talking about forever. And this is why he's in this situation. Because in reality, you should be taking offensive players in the first round of the draft to surround him with more talent. So when a guy like Davante Adams ups and leaves, you have other guys to throw the ball to. But you know what they didn't do? They didn't take no offensive weapons in the first round. And now he has nothing around him. And he's throwing to a bunch of undrafted dudes, Dubes and Lazard and all this nonsense. So, yeah, you're going to have a really crappy looking offense when you don't take offensive players and surround Aaron Rodgers with the talent he deserves, and you have one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and you're not supporting it. That makes no sense to me.
That's completely fair. I agree with you.
So I don't blame Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think anyone's blaming him. I'm not. I don't think you are. I'm not saying you are.
No, yeah. I agree with you 100%. I don't think this is on Aaron Rodgers' fault. I'm just saying it's going to lead to them not being the team that they have been these past several years.
Well, that being said,
did you see Kirk Cousins, his poise and him moving the ball down the field, targeting Justin Jefferson? Justin Jefferson played absolutely amazing, by the way. But the Packers defense looked suspect as well. They had no answer for Dalvin Cook and Madison, none whatsoever.
Okay, but you gave 184 yards to one receiver, and the other team only scored 23 points. So where that leads me to go is, all right, well, the defense probably wasn't that bad. It was more so, okay, we're tired. You guys aren't scoring points. We're back on the field so quick because you guys aren't even sustaining drives. So here we are, just dead tired, and we can't cover. We can't hold up. So I don't know if it's a defensive problem. I just think it's a problem where you can't sustain drives. You're not. Your run game's not there. You're not getting any for moving the chains with the pass game. It's I just think I'm telling you. I know Kirk Cousins. I know that man. And that man, he's made of the same stuff those Dallas Cowboys are made of. He's made of that same stuff. Yeah, man. He's made with that. He made with that China material. Like it ain't built to last. So when it's time, when it counts, and the biggest one, when the Viking fans are ready to celebrate, he's going to let them down because that's what he does. That's what that man does. I'm telling you, he's gonna miss just a wide open Justin Jefferson and sit over his head right into the arms of Jair Alexander. And that game will decide who wins the NFC North, and it'll be right there. It'll be right there. I'm telling you, it's gonna be something like that. It's just ridiculous the way he lets people down. He's not that good.
We'll see. I think it's gonna be different for him this year. I hope so.
You don't know. You don't know him. You're not a you weren't around in the Kirk Cousins enough. You were rooting for those NFC East teams and he was with the Redskins. I've seen him. I've seen him, bro. I know what he is. I'm not too concerned about the Packers. I mean, yeah, it's the receiving situation is terrible, but that franchise has let Aaron Rodgers down for a long time. He should have tried to leave. He should have stood his ground and tried to leave when he had the chance, and instead he stayed for the bread. So it is what it is.
Hold up. How is it not his fault though?
I don't know. You tell me. Tell me why you think it's his fault.
Because all this uncertainty, I don't know if I want to come back, all this. That's the reason why Devontae left. Devontae's not leaving if Rodgers makes it known that he wants to stay.
My argument is that you should have more than Devontae there in the first place anyways. You shouldn't be this bare at the position when Devontae leaves. That doesn't make any sense.
They weren't that bare. Valdez Scanlon left too. He was a big part of that offense. And Alan Lazard is hurt. So, I mean, those three are three decent one great wide receiver and two decent wide receivers. So they weren't bare per se.
When they drafted, you been begging this team to draft a wide receiver in round one forever. And when they finally draft a wide receiver in round one, they take Christian Watson. And that's like, really? That's an organizational problem. That's an organizational problem. There's no other way to put it. Like, how is that the player you come up with? That makes no sense. I'm not saying Christian Watson might end up being great this season. He's with a great quarterback. I'm sure he'll have plenty of opportunities. He'll get better. But it's still like, it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. You saw what Patrick Mahomes dealing with? All right, you lose Tyreek Hill. Guess what? Okay, we're going to get you Juju. We're going to get you Skyler Moore. We're going to get you what's the dude? Van Ness. Yeah, not that he really matters. Who's other guys he has? I don't know. He has the receivers. Hardman, right? Like, they get him weapons and let's go to war. You get your guys knives to deal with. Kyler Murray's they gave him everything. Ertz, all this, AJ Green, D-Hop. Like, so what's the excuse over in Green Bay? What are they doing? I don't understand. Is it because no one wants to go live in Wisconsin? I get that. If it's that, I trust me, I understand. But it ain't a free agency thing. This is about drafting guys, and they don't do a good job of that. They don't do good drafting offensive weapons. How you got Randall Cobb and he's on his 18th year? You got retrade. That makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's a bigger problem than Aaron Rodgers. You want to talk about his receivers all we want and how he's indecisive and how Aaron Rodgers is a douche. He's a douchebag. He is. But that's not why these guys, they have no receivers, So I'm more mad at the organization.
Hey, I want to ask y'all this. Another quarterback, right? Y'all got any concern with Matthew Stafford, how he showed, and the Rams in general? They got spanked opening night. Any concern?
That's Matt Stafford. Your running game is non-existent. You can't run the ball. And when you saw that, the Rams offense, Sean McVay offense is always about run, play, action, run, play, action, run, play, action. That's his thing. And when you can't play action, when you can't run the ball. So now you have to leave it up to Stafford to beat this team out of shotgun. He's down Van Jefferson, no Odell. Allen Robinson was out there just getting cardio in. So it's a tough situation. It's tough. Like, it's a lot to and look, he gets a lot of hype because he won that Super Bowl, but we know who Stafford is, right? Like, we know Detroit Stafford. It ain't the first time he's looked like that. So there's concern, but McVay's smart. They'll figure it out. But their tackle situation is weird. They got a weird situation at left tackle. So we'll see what's going on there. They lost my man Whitworth. So it's tough. What do y'all think? Y'all think I'm bugging? Like,
no, I think he got exposed because he played a really good Bills secondary. They have arguably the greatest safety combo.
But Von Miller also was wrecking that game.
Of course. And that just adds to it.
He had no time.
Yeah, and I think obviously the issues on the line, right, and Stafford's individual issues with him. I think they're relying too much on Stafford's arm at the end of the day. Like you said, they have no run game. They do the committee with Henderson and Cam Akers. Cam Akers didn't look good at all. Henderson looked fine, but again, the Bills have a really great defense, especially in their secondary. So when they're clicking on all cylinders and you're relying on Stafford to throw 80% of the time, issues are going to show up.
Well, they also better hope they get Odell back too, by the way.
I don't think he's going to sign with them.
It would be surprising. I mean, I don't know where he wants to go live in cold ass Buffalo, but I don't know what the alternatives are. He can always welcome to come back to New York, but I think they need someone who's going to get open 90% of the time, and that's Odell Beckham Jr. And they better get him back. They need to get him back. That's going to be important, especially if your O-line is compromised as it is and your run game's compromised. You're not going to be the same team, right? So you better get a guy like that back and get open quick and get yak. You know, like you need someone to get yards after the catch, and that's Odell Beckham. So they miss him. They definitely miss him. You can see they miss him. There's a void there.
I agree. I don't have no problems with that.
Tone played music, but we didn't hear it.
Yeah, we didn't hear it. I thought he paused the thing.
He didn't know. He played music.
Nobody heard it?
I didn't
I
hear
didn't
it.
hear it. No.
We heard it, it's like. Oh, I heard it.
If you feel and you know it, clap your hands. Every week now, after every game, we are going to do a segment now called Who's Real and Who's Fake. Based off of the games, based off the players. Who's real, who's fake? Starting off, we're going to go with Jameis. 26 for 34, 269, 2 TDs. Are we saying Jameis, that performance is real, or are we saying it's fake?
I'm gonna say it's fake because then he'll come and like throw 15 for 38 with 3 picks, and then you're like, "Oh, what happened, Jameis? I thought you were improving." Because last year he looked good before he got hurt, but you're always waiting for the shoe to drop with Jameis. That's the thing. Ever since he's been in the league, there's just been mental errors that he makes. So if he's gotten rid of that, then you know he's real. But until that comes. I'm gonna say he's fake.
I'm gonna agree with Miles on this one. Well, I'm not gonna say the black quarterback has mental issues. I won't do that. I won't push that narrative. I feel like I'm responsible.
I'm gonna go. It's real. I don't think the mental things is there anymore. Like he was talking about, you know, the shoulders is the knees, and then the head is matching. Like he's there mentally. I think this is going to be a consistent season all the way out for Jameis. Like you said, he played well before the injury. So I'm going with real. I'm gonna go out on a limb and believe in Jameis this year.
I want the Jameis believer.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with real too. But I wouldn't be surprised if he proves us wrong, Tone, and comes out and leads the league, 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions again. So that was only 2 years ago. So we'll see how he fares.
Basically, you're going with fake. That's what you're saying. It's not real. You're saying it's fake.
I'm going with fake real.
Who's real? Who's fake? Tua, 23 for 33, 2 touchdowns. They got the win. Are we saying Tua's performance is real or is it fake?
Before anyone answers, I just want to say Tua did the impossible the other day. Tua threw the perfect bounce pass in the middle of the game to Tyreek Hill on like a 20-yard dig.
Yeah.
To a bounce pass. And it bounced perfectly right into his hand. I just want to say that's an incredible amount of skill that it takes to do that. It's like skipping a rock. You know? I thought Zach Wilson only got quarterback in the league throwing bounce passes, but apparently Tua it was working on his basketball skills this offseason too. So I just want to say that.
I'm gonna say he's fake just based off the fact that one, like you said, he threw a bounce pass, but I also noticed a poor throw that Tyreek made him look incredible on when he threw the bomb downfield. Tyreek had to stop in his stride, come back, moss the guy, and then go ahead and get the yards after catch. But that's accuracy for me with Tua is going to be a big issue. I think Tyreek is going to make him look better than he actually is. So I'm not buying into it.
You go in doing a West Coast offense, throwing the ball 10 to 15, 20 yards down the field at a time. And he's good on those throws, but I don't know if a defense can really make him take a deep shot. Like crowd those areas of the field and then make him throw the ball deep, because that's where his problem is, throwing the ball down the field, clearly.
Plus, too, the Patriots secondary, it's not like the Patriots secondary of old, right? This is a secondary where they're still trying to figure it out themselves. They're still trying to get the right pieces there, and frankly, they don't have the right pieces there. It's
fair. They lost a guy, J.C. Jackson. That's a real concern. Miles, what do you think? You're the Tua believer on the podcast. It ain't anybody else. You think he's a wine or something?
I'm gonna say it's fake, but he's gonna look real this year just because he's got Waddle, he's got Tyreek. So we saw on Sunday, Waddle caught that one pass, took it to the crib. Nobody could catch him. That's what's gonna happen all year. They got those two receivers who are very similar. So you just got to get it to the weapons. That's the main goal in the league. You got to get to your weapons and let them show out. So
they need to do a bunch of screens with Tyreek and Waddle, the short routes that they can go out and get yards after catch and make Tua look like the man.
No, just do these 20-yard go routes that they've been doing.
20-yard go routes. 20-yard go route is crazy. Oh my God.
Next one, who's real, who's fake? Carson Wentz, 4 TDs, 2 interceptions, 313 and a win.
Fake.
On the Commandos.
Yeah, fake. Fake. He ain't commando.
The talent's there. So he's got all the talent around him. He's got Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin. He's got the weapons, Antonio Gibson. So, yeah, this could be one of those years that he surprises some people. I mean, 4 touchdowns is no joke. The 2 picks, of course, you're going to,
Oh, he threw 2 picks?
He threw 2 picks, yeah.
Of course he did.
Yeah, I mean, of course he did. But that's because his game is more of the gunslinger. So
that comes with it.
So I think this is kind of what they needed. I almost said the Redskins. The Commandos. I almost said Commandos.
He said Commandos. He didn't even want to say that, bro.
I forget what team they are. So,
the Washington football team.
That was better. That was the best name.
The football team.
I think this is the best quarterback they've had here since Donovan McNabb. So,
I mean, that's just a stark, dark indictment on their ability to find quarterbacks more than anything else. But I don't believe in them. I cannot wait to play them. I'm excited about playing them. I know they have weapons, but they have that guy quarterback. So I'm gonna get the ball a couple times and I'm gonna get a couple turnovers. And he is what he is. I think at this point he is what he is. Like, we're not gonna get a Geno Smith story out of this guy, okay? And I'm sure his name's gonna come up, but we're not gonna get that out of him. We're gonna get some turnaround. Like, he makes the stupid mistake too often. He's been in the league too long to making these kind of mistakes. And last year was last year he was in a very talented team with an amazing running back and amazing O-line, and you still couldn't just play point guard to get that team to the playoffs. I'm out. Like, I'm out on him, and I think at some point you beat the Jaguars like that, you don't gotta believe in me. It's the Jaguars. You know what I mean? Like, it's the only team less serious than the Commandos is the Jaguars and our failed engine Jets.
Speaking of, before we go to the next one, a lot of people, again, it's only week 1, but a lot of people are saying that Dotson should be in that conversation for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Do y'all see him possibly being able to pull it out?
What was his numbers?
It was 3 catches for 40 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, yeah, if he's getting numbers like that, he's going to get more targets as the year goes on, as he gets more comfortable with Carson Wentz. It's possible. I mean, most rookies don't come in their first game and catch 2 touchdowns, let alone the game-winning touchdown, which was a clutch catch. So I think it's possible.
It's possible. It is. I'm not going to say it's impossible. Sure. I mean, Pickens didn't have a catch, but that's because Mr. Trubisky sucks. Or he had 1 catch for like 3 yards. So it's, he can certainly be in the conversation. There's always one surprise candidate every year, and he could easily be that candidate.
Mitch sucks, or the Bengals held him in check.
Mitch sucks. It ain't about no Eli Apple.
The Bengals suck.
You guys got Eli Apple playing cornerback at the start.
Yeah, and Eli Apple played great that game, so I don't know what you're talking about. And first of all,
Eli Apple looks like he should be in Blood Diamond.
Listen, we'll get to the Steelers, but they only scored 1 offensive touchdown. It was their defense that really rallied. But go ahead, who's the next one?
You ever seen Blood Diamond, Chris?
No, I haven't, and nor do I want to hear what you have to say. Go ahead. Go ahead, Tom.
Watch it. Oh, yo, watch that. Watch it. Tell me Eli Apple don't look like the guy who said, "This is I'm the captain."
Nah, that's crazy.
You mixing up
crazy.
movies now. That's a totally different movie.
He just
Whatever.
He just called Eli Apple Somalian.
Whatever, Rwanda. I don't know what it is. We'll tell Rwanda. I don't care.
He said, "I'm the captain now." He do look like him though. He do.
He said Eli Apple out here stealing boats. Yo,
Eli
who's
Apple would fit
real?
right in Wakanda.
Who's real? Who's fake? Greg mentioned it. Perfect transition. Geno Smith. They get the win. They rain on Russell's let's ride return. Who's real? Who's fake? Are y'all any chance saying Geno Smith's performance is real?
They wrote me off. I ain't right back. Yeah, talk that cash, Gino. They wrote me off. I ain't right back.
I mean, it's not like it's not like he lit the whole league on fire.
But it was he played a solid game doing what he needed to do to get the win. Do I think he's real? No. I think a real defense. I mean, they do have a real defense, but I think a defense that comes prepared is going to give him fits. But it was a nice story.
That was one of those games where it's like they're at home, they're playing their former quarterback. It's like everything was stacked kind of in their favor to pull off the upset in that game. So
yeah, the energy too, right?
Yeah, the energy was right behind him the whole game. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. I'd like to see him follow it up with another game because with Geno, he has games like this where he looks really good. And then other games where, he
looks like
the guy from the Jets when he was getting knocked out by Ikemba Pali or something. I forget his name, but he's working in Kohl's somewhere. So that was his last straw. I'm sure he didn't watch that game on Monday night.
Geno's gonna take them on take those fans on a roller coaster ride this season. It's gonna be it's gonna be ups, it's gonna be downs, and all that. And credit to, look, you should enjoy this moment. It was a good win, but it felt like there were a lot of forces in their favor in that game. It just kind of felt. Look, Nathaniel Hackett was practically coaching for the Seahawks anyways. Okay, we're gonna talk about this game. Talk about Hackett and how he's the worst coach in football, and it was the worst coach game I've seen in my entire life. And I saw Joe Judge kneel in our own 5-yard line with like 10 minutes to go in a game or whatever. So I've seen some pretty bad coaching, and I don't think I've seen anything. I've never seen worse clock management. You run 30 seconds off your clock and then you try to kick a 64-yard field goal it just doesn't make any sense. Like, he was horrible, and he looked on the side like an idiot, like a babbling idiot. He looks horrible. If you put a picture up on him of him just on the screen, he looks horrible. He doesn't look. He know what he's doing. You know what I mean? That was just a horrible display of coaching. So yeah, give Geno the credit, but that coach was. He should be fired after that one game. I feel strongly about this. Fire him. Like, he is not the guy. He is not. Your Broncos are not going to ride. The ride is not operational. The ride not. Nah. It's deep. Fire him.
Do y'all think though, with that one performance, is he's going to be the downfall of the Broncos this season? It seems like they have the roster to go there and be a championship contending team, but first showing against a Seahawks team that nobody expected for it to be close. Will he be the downfall of let's ride?
Well, he can't be like Pete Carroll. He's got to trust his quarterback. Like, you paid him all this money to come over here and lead your franchise, and you don't even trust him in the first game of the season. Like, who cares if you lose week 1? But for you to lose that way, where 4th and 5, you let 30 seconds run down, then you use a timeout to just kick the longest field goal in NFL history. I just don't understand it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But as a head coach, you have growing pains. So it's his first game. Hopefully he learns from it. He won't make that mistake again. I hope not. And if he does, I hope Russell Wilson audibles and says, forget what you're talking about.
Well,
this is my team.
You heard what Richard Sherman said?
What?
Talking about on a podcast that Russell Wilson doesn't have that stain that Peyton Manning and Drew Brees had, where it's in their hands to make that call, right? where they could call the timeout and Russell Wilson looks to the sideline for that.
If he
I'm
did,
not sure.
they'd have 2 Super Bowls. So
He need to listen to some Future, because maybe he put some Future on, he might be able to have that stain. He listening a little bit too much to Kirk Franklin.
You see in the video before the game, he was like in the middle of the field and he had his arms out and he was clearly in his praise and worship bag, which I respected. But what are you think he's listening to? You think he's listening to Andy Mineo or something?
He had to go there. He had to go there.
It was Lecrae or something like that.
He had to go there. Wow. How long do y'all think it takes for a team to get settled in? Because it's week 1. Some teams like the Bengals off to a slow start from just the one game, off to a slow start. How long do you think it takes for teams to get settled in? Especially being that a lot of the teams, the championship contending teams, they didn't play their starters in the preseason. So how long do you think it's going to take for it to actually, we're going to see the Bengals as the Bengals, we're going to see the Rams as the Rams?
Couple weeks, I would think. I mean, I heard a point someone made, like week 1 is kind of like the 4th preseason game, because now you get the starters in there. They're playing together, some of them for the first time all year, and that chemistry is not there. So you need that first week to kind of work the kinks out, and then you're rolling after that. You hope.
Some teams don't get off the ground though. Some teams don't get off the ground though. Some teams, their issues are persistent. There are problems that you can't really fix over time. You just need an off season to fix it. And I think there are certain teams that are those good teams we're talking about that could try to get off the mat and they can't get up. The Rams are one of them.
The Titans too.
The Titans are, oh my God, the Titans have a lot of issues. That game, I mean, their wide receivers are horrible.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have wide receivers. And Derrick Henry, as good as he is, when you're stacking a box and you have a team who can win in the trenches and your offensive line isn't as good as it has been in years past, good luck. Good luck, because you're putting a lot of games in the hands of Ryan Tannehill with subpar wide receivers. I don't know what was in the logic of trading a guy like A.J. Brown. I don't get it. I don't understand. Besides just being cheap and having bad ownership, but it's going to bite you. So a team like that, who's used to winning over the last couple of years, they're going to try to get up off that mat because they, like you were talking about, that week 1 is typically the 4th preseason game. You're going to try to get up and you're going to realize, oh, I can't get up. Like there's no way. So teams like that, they're going to have persistent issues. The Titans, I think the Rams are going to have those issues too. I don't think the Rams are going to be the Rams of old. I think that left tackle position is a problem. The running back position is a real problem too. And the wide receiver room is decimated. And by the time it gets up and going again in that division, it might be too late because the 49ers are going to figure it out. This Trey Lance thing's not, look, they're going to figure it. They're going to be good. It's Kyle Shanahan. They have all their guys. They're going to be good. So good luck. And Ayuk's probably gonna have a breakout year. Like it's gonna be, they're gonna really get going. It's gonna happen for them. But a team like the Rams, Titans, it could really struggle. I think the Bengals will be fine.
I've fallen and I can't get up. They on life alert.
Situations. Any life alert.
Life alert. Before we go into each player, each person choosing their player of the week. Shout out. I guess we could say this is the shout out game of the week. We gotta shout out the Giants and Brian Daboll. That's how a coach should coach. That's how a coach should coach. You saw how much the Giants were actually around him and excited and believing him. That's how it should go. And Saquon Barkley, as I already told y'all, for y'all watching it, y'all already seen it on Instagram, Saquon Barkley is back. Saquon Barkley is back. I'm done right there. I just had to give him the shout out and the love. Y'all can take it. I know Greg might want to talk a little bit more about how beautiful Saquon looked. Barry Sanders reincarnated, literally.
I ain't got to speak. He's saying it all I got to say. I ain't got to speak on it. It was incredible. It was like watching LeBron in his prime, like that game, bro. Like it was a LeBron-esque performance, like just complete domination from start to finish. I don't know what to say. I'm really excited. He can really win MVP. He has a real chance to win MVP this year. They're gonna be handing the ball off to a lot to him, throwing the ball to him a lot. He is going. And by the way, if you didn't pick him in fantasy in your top 3, I feel bad for you. I picked him in fantasy. I got him. So I know I'm gonna reap the benefits of this guy going crazy. He is incredible. So look, easily the player of the week, easily. I know Justin Jefferson went crazy, and I know people will pick him, but I think what Saquon did, with the context of being hurt the last few years, and against that rushing defense, against that D line, to do that, it's just the beginning. They're gonna have a lot of success running the ball through him. He's gonna have a crazy year this year. And like I've been saying forever, when that guy's healthy, he's the best running back in football. When he's right, he's the best. He's the best running back in football. There's no one better.
Hey, and I think too, Daboll, after that interception in the end zone, to still have Danny Dimes go and get you're gonna still pass and we're gonna still believe in you. I think that was huge for the rest of the season. That showed confidence, because in the past, probably would have been like, all right, pull him. Now we're done with him. Matter of fact, we're just gonna run the ball the rest of the game. That showed confidence. And again, that was ultimately a great coaching job by Daboll. Like, great coaching job, first game. Chris, who's your player of the week this week?
My player of the week's actually on the defensive side, believe it or not. I'm going Minkah Fitzpatrick with the Steelers.
I mean,
Minkah balled the hell out. There's no denying it, right? You got to give the man his credit. He really showed why he's one of the best safeties in the league. Yo, one of the things that Minkah got criticized a lot for last year was not coming downhill and letting too much stuff get to the second level. 14 tackles. He was everywhere. He was all around the football, 10 solo tackles, and to start the game, I think it was the second throw of the game. It was the first or second throw of the game, 34-yard pick six. Like, he just sets the tone for that defense. TJ Watt is there. Yes, TJ Watt went out with an injury. They didn't miss a beat. He was fired up all game. He was talking hella trash to Jamar Chase. They were drawing back and forth, and it just seemed like every play he was involved in, and it was honestly impressive to watch. He's one of those players where you watch him and you're like, I wish this guy was on my team.
I bet you wish he was on your team.
I bet you wish a lot of people were on your team. So I don't know why you popping off right now.
Hold on, Chris, what's your record? Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
We 0-1, Miles.
All right.
The Bengals play the Jets this year?
Let's continue.
Yeah, hold on. The Bengals play the Jets in 2 weeks, at matter of fact. And we should all go get some nosebleed tickets and just go there.
Where's it at? MetLife?
It's at MetLife. Go get some $40 tickets and let's just go vibe.
I don't want some hillbilly to throw up on my back. Like, you see what happens at these games? This is dirty. I
was in Cincinnati, to be specific, by the way. That's in Cincinnati.
Stop it.
That's from Cincinnati. I'm just saying.
That's right.
He said she looked like she was at the Capitol riot. So
yo, remember?
Like on Queens asked where that woman was on January 6th. She should probably be locked up. I just looking at the image.
Yo, if that's what's happening at Cincinnati games, imagine what happens at New York games. Because New York smells like piss, remember?
Yeah.
Too bad they ain't in New York. Got a bunch of New Jersey people in there.
It's even worse. New Jersey's dirtier.
Especially by that stadium. Who's your player of the week, Miles?
I'm gonna just go with Saquon, honestly, because when you think about it, everybody wrote them off in week 1. Everybody's kind of assuming that he's not going to come back next year. And then he just proves that he's still one of the best players in the NFL. He single-handedly helped win that game. Like, there's no more rumors about it. I think he should be here moving forward. Like, he's their best weapon offensively. He just showed it. Like, if there's someone you get rid of, it's Kenny G. Because he's just out here, you might as well be playing the saxophone like the other
cardio in.
He's not doing much for this team.
He doesn't fit the profile of what they want to do as a receiver. He doesn't. It's a very bad situation.
Yeah, and then when you got Rich the Kid catching more passes than you, then
and by the way, he was nice. Rich the Kid was nice. Rich the Kid did a good job.
He did, but
a plug walking over the place.
But he's also not making $18 million a year, so that's
right.
That's besides the point. But Saquon, he looked the best out of all the running backs this week. He looked like he was running downhill. He was running angry. Like, that's what everybody's wanted from him since he came into the league. Not tiptoeing, dancing around it. Like, you're a big back, hit that hole, run through guys. Like, he wasn't shying away from the contact. That's what I like too.
He looked better in that game than he has at any point in his career.
Yeah.
That's the best he's looked. And that's the most remarkable thing about it. And you're right. That conversation about his contract's going to come up. And we're going to start hearing more and more about it. Look, I heard the interview where Joe Shane specifically said that named him one of the building blocks he wants to build the team around in the future. So I think he'll be here. He did not name Daniel Jones, though. But there'll be time to talk about him as the season progresses.
That man's still throwing picks in the end zone. He's out of here, man.
That's a bad one. It's a bad one. But I think Daboll is gonna have him playing his best football at some point in the season. I just want to say that. Like, 8 wins is a real thing, but is a real target for the Giants. And if they get 8 wins, it'll be a large part. Will be because he's playing his best football at some point in this season. Just putting it out there. He's capable of better.
That or because Saquon broke the Eric Dickerson record.
That's possible too. That's possible too. For real.
Definitely. Looking ahead to week 2. Week 2 pick'ems. Chargers, Chiefs. Who y'all got?
I got the Chiefs. I just think the pedigree, Pat Mahomes is going to get it done. They're down Keenan Allen for the Chargers, so it's not really looking too good for them. Like, I think Justin Herbert spread it around a lot more, but you need your star wide receiver in this situation. Like, Mike Williams did nothing for you in game 1. He's going to have to step up in this game. Let's see what he can do. Like, we know what Pat Mahomes is going to do. We got to see Justin Herbert. This is a big year for him too, because now you got to make a name for yourself in the AFC. You got to show that I can compete with Pat Mahomes and not be second place as usual. It starts here.
I don't know. I think the Chargers are going to win this game. I think the defensive tandem with your boy Mack and Bosa is going to be a lot for that Chiefs offense to handle. They're going to drop back as many times as they do. Andy Reid's amazing, and the Chiefs can easily win. I think this is a coin toss game. I don't like picking coin toss games. You know how I feel about this. But I think that if I'm going to pick the game, I like Justin Herbert more than most. I think he's the best quarterback in football. I really do. I think he's better than Josh Allen. I think he's better than Pat Mahomes. I think he's the best. I think has the best arm talent. Some of the throws he makes are inexplicable. And Pat Mahomes is just as great with the arm talent. He flip a coin between the two quarterbacks. My preference is Justin Herbert. You guys know how I feel about Jay Herbo. I think they have a real chance this weekend, even without Keenan Allen. And with that pass rush duo, they're going to cause some havoc in the backfield too. So we'll see. And they have a healthy Derwin James back there thrashing around. They got a chance, man. I think they also got J.C. Jackson in free agency too. He played a good game.
That man hasn't practiced. He barely got a limited practice in today. So I don't think he's playing tomorrow.
Well, hey, look, I'll bolt up for today. I'll bolt up and we'll see how it goes. But I like Herbert.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs. I'm going with what I know in Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Eric Bieniemy and his play calling for the offense. I think they're going to come up with a great plan. Look, Justin Herbert's great too. Justin Herbert, he's going to do his thing, but I'm going with experience. I'm going with Patrick Mahomes. Pat's a winner, and he's fired up after last week throwing those 5 touchdowns. You see the trash talking he did after he threw the 4th touchdown, looked at Arizona sideline and was like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's some Steph Curry-esque thing right there. So I'm going with Pat Mahomes.
Him talking trash to me while sounding like a Herbert the Crab would piss me off. That would piss me off.
He sounds like Herbert the Crab.
He sounds crazy talking trash.
I'm going with the Chiefs. Bucks at Saints. Both teams are 1-0.
Bucks.
Yeah.
Bucks win. I don't take the quarterback that serious over in New Orleans. I think he has a lot of weapons and
pain everywhere. Just pain.
Yeah.
I don't take him. Yeah, it's pain everywhere. I don't take him. I don't take them that serious. Look, I think the Saints are a very good team. They'll challenge them, and they could beat them. I'm not saying it's impossible. Another coin flip game is an in-division game. But I'm going to go with what I know, and I know Tom Brady's really good at football. I know he's frustrated because he got problems at home because his wife don't want him sleeping in the bed, and he'll go to his safe haven and go and which is football, and he'll play his best football, right? By the way, before we move on to everybody else's take, we should put up on the screen at this part the headline off of that New York that CBS headline I sent you earlier today. okay, where they said, hey, Tom Brady, who's lost 2 Super Bowls to the New York Giants, is having problems at home. I just thought it was phenomenal. Greatest headline I've ever seen. I got to repost that on my story. It's going to go up real soon for the people. And everybody got to make sure they see that.
I got the Saints winning.
You're a big Winston guy. He's a big Winston guy.
And I don't believe in that Bucks O-line. Michael Parsons got busy on Tom Brady head a couple times. So that O-line still got some question marks. Leonard Fournette looked pretty good, but the Cowboys, like, come on. So let's see how he does against New Orleans Saints. Let's see where everything goes with that. And, hey, outside of Jameis, too, Michael Thomas looked really good, too. He kind of looked like
Landry.
He's starting to shape into what he was. And then you got Jarvis Landry helping him out. I think I'm a believer in the Saints for sure. Next one. Do the Giants start off 2-0 for the first time in I don't know how many years? Panthers at the Giants.
It's possible.
A real possibility.
It's possible. It's crazy. I don't know how to pick this game. I'll be honest.
I hate the Giants if y'all lose to them because
it's a game. It's gonna be a dogfight. I some people I think it's gonna be a dogfight. I'm gonna pick the Giants simply because I'm a Giants fan. Seriously, the expertise here go out the window because this game is a closely contested matchup, in my opinion. I don't think there's a big difference between the gap between these teams in terms of talent. I think the coaching edge just goes to the Giants. I think the Kafka and Daboll overrule. I'm just gonna do that and Wink Martindale overrule. And if we get Kayvon Thibodeau back, we have a real good chance of having the pass rush and generating pass rush on that team, right? We've shown we can stop the run. We stopped Derrick Henry last week. We showed we can stop the run, right? So make that team one-dimensional. Make Baker have to drop back and beat you. I think they have a good chance of winning that football game. And Baker's struggling. He's not the same quarterback. He is struggling, and it's well documented. So this is about as golden of a chance that the Giants have had in a long time to be 2-0, and they have a real chance to do it. I think they can. And there's gonna be there's gonna be juice in that stadium. It ain't gonna be like that Jets game we saw last weekend where it was quiet and it was like the U.S. Open. Nah, it's gonna be juice in there. Because the Giants are 1-0, and it's been a long time, and those fans are going to be ready. I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy over there. So I think the Giants are going to win that game off the juice alone, and I think Saquon has a big game. I think Daniel Jones has a better game than he did last week. I think he corrects some mistakes he made in the last game.
I got Giants, and Saquon gets 100+ yards again.
I think so. I think I think that's a formality. What he running the football. Who
do the Panthers even have on defense?
They have that good. They have Derek Brown, the guy from Auburn drafted. He's a good player from a couple years ago. But other than that, and they have Burns. They have Hassan Reddick.
They still have Gilmore.
No. They have J.C. Horn, obviously, who's still there, very good player. But who's going to be covering? Kenny Galladay. So that's okay. Right. We want to throw the ball to him anyways. I
don't think Kenny G's on. He should be inactive.
We're getting there, by the way. I mean, seriously, I don't know if they have a bigger plan for him and they're going to get him more touches next game. But I also love the Kadarius Toney just getting him more involved. I think he'll be more involved in the game plan this week.
You got to put Shep in.
Shep's guaranteed.
Him and Daniel Jones got the chemistry, so
he's guaranteed to play. He's phenomenal. He's a great player. I love Shep. He'd be great for anybody out of the way. But yeah, I think that they have a real chance to win this game. 2-0. Giants go 2-0. It's gonna be hysteria in the city. It's gonna be hysteria in the
they're gonna be peeing everywhere in New York.
Huh?
Y'all gonna be peeing everywhere in New York. Just drop the pants and go.
Hey, you guys stop sounding like you're such a foreigner, by the way. You lived here long enough talking about peeing everywhere. Like the subway don't smell like pee. What's wrong with you? Everyone knows the subway smells like pee. Everyone knows that. You know why? Because the homelessness problem. Look.
You blame it on the homeless. Blame it on the homeless.
What? Who else are you gonna blame it on?
Who else is peeing in there?
Have you been to Penn Station?
Chris, are you seeing like people making 80 G's a year, 100 G's a year in their suits, just pulling their zippers down everywhere?
Those people make way more than 80 G's a year.
Whatever the hell they make. You know what I mean? They ain't any regular people in there peeing.
People be getting reckless in the city.
It's these
you go out on a Friday night, is no limits to what you can do.
bro.
You see the type of people that frequent New York City. It ain't just the homeless population that's peeing everywhere.
You ain't been in the city enough. Hey, you get on that train going to Brooklyn. You go see some things. You're gonna see some things. All right, I promise you that. Some of the guys gonna do a line of crack off of your shoulder. I promise you that right now. So I'm letting you know. It's the reason why Ghost making all that money. It wasn't just fictional.
Stupid.
Battle of the mobile quarterbacks. Dolphins at the Ravens.
Mobile quarterbacks.
Tua?
I think it's the Ravens. I'm taking Ravens in this. I think they're gonna get the run game, revved up this week. J.K. Dobbins is coming back. Lamar. I mean, Jets have a good run defense, so that was a tough one for them last week. So I think they're gonna really, take off this week.
Ravens. Shit, you know what I'm picking. I'm picking the Ravens.
Yeah,
I think it's a lock. Lamar, they don't got him mad not paying him his bread. I think he's gonna go crazy.
Question, right? So we saw the reports. We all saw the reports. That is believed that it's a possibility that Lamar will get traded in the offseason. Do you have any belief that Lamar will be traded? Do you believe he'll be a Raven, even if it's not traded?
I think they have no other choice. Like who are they gonna get? They're not gonna lose enough to even get to that point of picking another quarterback. Like this guy is a winner. They said he in his first 50 games, him and Tom Brady have the most wins as far as playing quarterback goes. So isn't that the objective of playing the quarterback position, is to win the game? Who cares if it's pretty or not?
Don't do it.
And what's to determine if it's a pretty game? Like,
don't do that. Yeah, don't do what you see. Yo, you anti-black.
he's backdrafted.
Ow!
He's anti-black. It ain't pretty because of Lamar. You see Lamar with his helmet off. He's like, you see, it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. Look at him. Look at him. That's what Miles saying.
I'm not saying that.
I agree with Miles on that part. That it isn't the prettiest. Lamar's just a winner. It's not going to be a 500-yard passing game with 5 touchdowns. No, he's just going to make the plays that need to be made. He could literally, we saw it last year. It was a game where he had 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, fourth quarter come, Lamar showing up. He's going to show up. So it's not always, honestly speaking, it's not always the prettiest game. And to just put it out there, though, that's how the Ravens play, period, though. The Ravens play to just win. We don't care how it's going to look. We don't care if we played the first 3.5 quarters terrible. We don't care if we gave up 5 touchdowns, fourth quarter. If we have a chance to win, more times than not, how the Ravens play, how that organization is ran, they're going to buckle down and win that game. It's that simple.
Are we calling it not pretty because of the turnovers? Can we be honest with ourselves? Can we psychoanalyze ourselves for a second? A little psychoanalysis needs to happen real quick. I think we associate throwing up a bunch of yards and 500-yard games, 5 touchdowns with pretty because the white man does it.
Hold up. So what makes it any different?
I think that's what we do. I think that's what Miles is doing. I think Miles just think white men are pretty.
What makes it any different that Jalen Hurts wins the games the same way? You just don't like Jalen Hurts. So just admit it. It's like you're biased more towards Lamar Jackson.
Hold on. You cannot.
We all know you're more of a Kodak Black than a Lamar Jackson. So
you cannot compare Jalen Hurts to you got me discombobulated. You cannot compare Jalen Hurts to Lamar Jackson. You cannot do that. That's like comparing Ford to Lexus. It doesn't make any sense. You can't do that. It's not the same.
But these are 2 guys who win with their legs. Like that's a huge part of their game.
It's a huge part of the game, but Lamar beat you both ways. Lamar beat you both ways, and he has a bigger track record of doing it. He's done it against better opponents. Let's keep it a buck.
Damn, can the guy get his foot in the league? Like you already ready to write him off. You want to replace him.
You opened up Pandora's box. I ain't do it. I ain't compare Jalen Hurts to Lamar Jackson. I never would have done something so irresponsible, but you did. So now we can have a real conversation about it. Okay, Lamar is the
best. His first year, he led them to the playoffs.
Huh?
In his first year starting, he led them to the playoffs.
Did he lead them, or did they just run the ball into oblivion because they're the best O-line in football? I think that's what happened. I don't think Jalen Hurts led anybody anywhere. Okay, Jalen Hurts was led by Lane Johnson.
He was
He
led.
was led.
He was
by
led.
Fox.
All right.
He was led by just a great roster that they built in Philly. They did a good job. That's what it was. Because when it got to the playoffs, what happened? When it got to the playoffs, what happened? When you get to throw the ball, what happened?
But what about Lamar's playoff record? Are we not going to talk about that either?
You can point at that, but guess what Lamar's done? Won MVPs. That's what he does. He's won an MVP. He did it. He was the reason why that team won a bunch of games. It wasn't no running game. He is the running game. And the passing game, he's that too. And guess what? He don't got half the receivers that your man Jalen Hurts has. He's throwing a Bateman and Duvernay and all these random people off the street, throwing a Chris Johnson on Sundays. He ain't even throwing to nobody. Your man Jalen Hurts throwing it. Goddamn AJ Brown.
Hey, yo, keep my name out your mouth, bro.
All that.
Keep my name out your mouth.
Devonta Smith. He's throwing a Chris Johnson every night, every game.
Speaking of, you mentioned Jalen Hurts. Y'all on a roll tonight. Perfect transition. Vikings at Eagles. Both
give me Kirk Cousins. Give me Kirk Cousins and them Vikings. After what I witnessed last week, give me Kirk Cousins.
Hope you're right. I'll take the Vikings because I just hate.
Now he want to show Kirk some love.
Oh, it's not about
Dude, he was just talking hot about Kirk.
Because he doesn't like Jalen Hurts. That's it. He don't want him to succeed.
It's not about Jalen Hurts at all.
He don't like the black man.
He's trying to make it about the black man.
You don't.
Right, look. I want to show people a text. Are you calling Lamar a black ass?
Never came out of my mouth. Never said that text.
His black ass. You think his black ass is Magic Johnson the way he throwing bounces?
Wow, we really gonna lie about it? Okay, all right, bet. Whoo!
That's great. That is great.
Got Miles sitting up.
He's throwing wraparound bounce passes on the fast break.
Oh my god. Oh, y'all gotta chill.
Oh my god.
Oh shoot. Yo, before we transition, because we gotta talk about the Donovan Mitchell trade. But yet again, shout out to our followers and our supporters. They reached out and a couple of them asked, hey, who are y'all picks for Heisman? So I want to hear from y'all. It's only been week 2 of college football, but who are y'all early picks for Heisman?
I have no idea because I'm not like that tapped into college right now. It's like it's so early in the year. I'm a Gators fan, so I thought Anthony Richardson would be that, and then he laid a dud against Kentucky. So that's gone.
That's over.
I don't think Bryce Young's going to win it again because I don't think Alabama's as good as people make them out to be. It could be Stroud from Ohio State.
I think it's Stroud, yeah.
He keeps playing the way he's playing, and they keep winning. I mean, the numbers are going to be there. He's a good quarterback.
He's real good. He looked good in blue. He's a real good quarterback.
Y'all better stop winning.
You said what? You said he would look good in what?
He looked good in blue.
Y'all got to stop winning, though. If you want him, you got to stop winning.
I don't know if we can stop at this point. I think it may just be a formality.
There we go. Here we go.
I don't know if we'll be able to stop. I'm just saying, they got a taste of that. They got a taste of that. Someone got one in New York, right?
Yeah, the bill.
Maybe Bryce, maybe Stout will look good in green. Maybe in green.
Maybe.
You know?
Maybe anything's possible.
Anything is possible, bro. You never know. Your man's over here, fornicating with moms. Maybe. Maybe he ends up in green. In the mean green machine. The Jets finally fly.
Hey, Chris, who's your early pick prediction?
I'm gonna go with Bryce Young, just based on what I know. Right, he's elusive in the pocket. He can make the throws. He won it last year. I'm not counting him out. I seen him play in person last year. The dude can play.
Is Ritter still there at Cincinnati?
No, he's not at Cincinnati. Dumbo. This guy. Yo, I really hate you, bro. I really do.
His video shit. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yo. Notre Dame off to a bad start. This is the only time in Notre Dame history that a coach has started off with an 0-3 record. They only
Manti
played 2 games,
Te'o
but he
doc that they
lost.
just released. It's bad timing.
Marcus,
This is not good.
is he on the hot seat? Marcus Freeman.
I mean, you gotta be on the hot seat at this point if you're 0-2, but you gotta give him more than 2 games to get off his feet. Like they just lost their starting quarterback for the next like 2 to 3 months. So of course they lost to Ohio State. That was gonna be a tough game. Also in this last game against Marshall, they lose their starter. So that's a lot to be put on your plate in year 1. So I don't wanna, throw him off the boat.
Year 2, right? Year 2.
No, it's year 1 because
Year
Brian
one.
Kelly was there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He coached 1 game last year.
You're
He
right.
lost that one.
Yeah.
He lost these 2.
He was defensive coordinator last year.
Why you say throw him off the boat though?
First thing that came to mind.
Throw his black ass off the boat.
Y'all are horrible.
Right.
Y'all, yeah. I listen.
Like, why are we talking about a black guy in the first and the key to Miles Minds a boat?
Yeah, I don't condone this. That's crazy.
He said, I don't condone
Nah, that's a former Cincinnati coach we talking about too. I don't condone this.
Oh my God. Yo.
He said throw his black ass off the boat.
Wow, yo, see?
That's crazy. He said that dude can't coach.
It's early. So I don't think we could rush to judgment on what he is as a head coach. But
That's what
this Notre Dame team is not good. Like, they're not a good team at all. So.
Hey, look, they're not, but he's black. So he was in the hot seat the minute he lost that first game, if you ask me. I'm just saying, I know Ohio State was given a loss anyways, and any coach would have lost it with that roster, but I just feel like he was on a shorter leash anyways to begin with. We're just being honest about the way the world works. So I would be surprised if he survives this, to be honest. I'd be surprised if he survives this. I think he's in real trouble. I think he's in more trouble than Brian Kelly.
You think his leash
You're
that
one.
short? You think his leash that short? You think Notre Dame's expecting to win it all? Like,
No, and it would be a bad
I don't
look
think
if
his
they
leash
let
is
him
that
go.
short. What's that?
I would be surprised if his leash was much longer than this, though. I'm just being honest. I mean, I know the expectation shouldn't have been that, but for some reason, I've seen crazy things happen with black coaches in all sports. So I'm not going to write the possibility off that he could be out of here by the end of the year. And it's not fair, and I hope I'm wrong, and I probably am. But I just have this feeling. I'm
sure there was a reason that Brian Kelly left when he did. Usually these coaches do that. They see the writing on the wall that, all right, we're not as talented as we were when we were making national championship runs, being in the BCS Bowl and being in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what he did. He dipped to LSU, which they had a bucket of money. They're in a better conference.
Funny enough, he about to get fired too.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Funny enough, you lose out there, you're in big trouble. There's no tolerance for that. 0 tolerance policy for losers out in LSU.
Right. And even in that press conference where the reporter was firing shots back at him, I'm like, all right, he's not going to last that long in LSU.
And I think Brian Kelly also, he called someone a black ass in some interview a while ago. What he got in trouble? He got in trouble for saying some wild stuff in an interview a while ago. I don't remember what it was, but anyway.
That ain't nothing new. They just dealt with Ed Orgeron. Like, that ain't nothing new. They used to that. Literally LSU, like you said, no losing is tolerated. If you win, say whatever you want. Literally.
Yeah.
Say whatever you want, do whatever you want. As long as you win. That's all we care about.
Yeah.
Same could be said when you talk about this Donovan Mitchell trade. All we want to do is win. And the Cleveland Cavaliers pulled the trigger. Donovan Mitchell is with Darius Garland. They only gave up Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Agbaji, Colin Sexton, 3 unprotected first-round picks, and 2 pick swaps. What was your takeaways from the Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes?
I mean, I feel like they got more for Rudy Gobert than they did for Donovan Mitchell.
Well, you're right. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what happened. I think that Ainge was on a mission to screw the Knicks at all costs, and he did that successfully. Because there was an interview that came out today with Donovan Mitchell and Brian Windhorst, and Donovan Mitchell's literally was saying, like, I know more than the average person, and it was really close to me being a Knick, and I thought I was going to be a Knick, and obviously he was hinting at some crazy stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about yet. I'm sure we'll find out about it in X amount of years, but you can also see he's interested in playing for the Knicks. You can see there's a real interest there. He actually, for some odd reason, he wanted to play for the Knicks. So I think that's something that's in the cards and the line. You know, even though he didn't get traded there right away, I don't think he's gonna stay in frigid, cold Cleveland where you can't go to a friendlies past 9 o'clock. You know, I don't think he, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's gonna stay there for the rest of his career. So
that's true. There's nothing good in Ohio.
You're always trying to send Chris just a stray bullet, bro. You know what? It all started when Chris said you look like Saucy Santana, and this thing all went downhill from there.
He do look like Saucy Santana.
I don't think you've ever seen a picture of Saucy Santana.
Oh, I seen a picture. I have a picture of you and him pick stitched together.
That's sus. That's it's questionable.
He's a material girl.
He out here getting BBLs.
You wow.
Hey yo.
Hey yo. In this trade, who are the losers in this trade?
Jazz.
The Jazz, yeah.
Yeah, I think the deal they had on the table, all the reported deals they had from the Knicks, all of them, for the most part, were better than the deal they actually took. I'd rather take 2 unprotected first-round picks than take 3 unprotected first-round picks from a team that's going to be really good. I'll take it from the Knicks, where I know that those picks will translate to me getting better picks in the draft. Like, that's just the reality of it. The Knicks aren't as good as that Cleveland team is, so I'm going to get better picks. You know, even if they were improved with Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson and whatever, I'd rather have those picks from the Knicks, right? I'm going to bank on that because they're not as good as that Cleveland team. They're not complete. So trading him there out of spite, trading him to Cleveland out of spite of the Knicks doesn't do yourself you don't do yourself a favor. You don't do yourself a favor, you know? So I think that's really where it kind of lies there. You know, that's kind of how I see it. But yeah, I think that the losers are obviously the Jazz in this situation.
For me, when you look at it, something that I think people need to have a conversation about, because of course we were seeing a lot of the people talking about, oh, the Knicks were losers. Hypothetically speaking, right? If Donovan Mitchell went to that team, we talking about Donovan Mitchell, we talking about Julius Randle, we talking about RJ Barrett, and we talking about Brunson.
Yeah.
That's a disgusting team. The Knicks won this. The Knicks, for the first time, shot out to World Wide West, Leon Rose. They did not bite the bullet and just, oh, we need a star, and brought Donovan Mitchell over here. It wouldn't have worked out in the long run. Wait. Well, he got 2-3 years left on his contract. Let him come over here in free agency, and you build a better roster. Shout out to the Knicks. For the first time in a while that we've been able to say that. Shout out to the Knicks for making the right decision in the front office. I just want to put that out there because all the nonsense, all the people laughing and trolling the Knicks, no, the Knicks did the right thing. They actually did the right thing.
I'm not going to argue against that. I mean, I've been one of the people out there saying that most they should get Donovan Mitchell, but because I don't believe in the nucleus that the Knicks have right now. The players I like the most in the Knicks is Grimes, and I like IQ, and Obi is. I think there's something there with Obi. I think something's there, but you know, like I so that's my thing. And I think when you have an opportunity to get a player like Donovan Mitchell on your team, and you try to do it because you don't want the added variables in free agency. You know, when you have Miami gunning for his services and all these other teams gunning for his services, you know, you're not going to be the only team that wants him. So you're banking on yourself to, you know, that he wants to come home and wants to live near his mom again. You're just kind of banking on those things, and sometimes it doesn't work in your favor. So the Knicks have, I think, 2 years to kind of build something that is appealing to people. That where, you know, hey, come play. I think they have a chance to attract players. I think they have a real good chance. But I think the patience was a smart move all in all. And we'll see how it all works out. We'll see how the RJ extension works out. We'll see how, you know, can you get off the Julius Randle contract, and is it going to happen? We'll see. How's it going to look with Jalen Brunson running the team? You know, I think it'll be a success. But we'll see. You know, I think there's a lot of variables to the Knicks, but I think they did make a good choice. So you make a lot of great points there. I'm sure Miles agrees because, you know, everything the Knicks does is perfect in his eyes. And it's the Knicks are just the golden standard in the NBA.
I don't know where that came from. It's been a real targeted show today. If you guys can't tell, there's been a lot of slander for some reason. I don't get it, but yeah, I don't think the Knicks lost this trade because they didn't have to give up any of their picks. I think Grimes has real potential there, and that's why the Jazz wanted him. They wanted other people, but they tried to, you know, rob us blind. And I'm glad this place didn't let that happen. Like Steve Mills is not here anymore. So we don't have to make these dumb trades that make no sense. Like let the youth play. We need to let like Grimes play, Obi play, IQ, RJ. Like we got potential with some of these guys, and you have to see what they have and what they can do as a team before you know, try to move forward with that. And I mean, the fact that some of these teams, they're keen on Grimes, they're keen on IQ, RJ, means that we do have some talented young pieces. So why give all that up just for one guy to come here and deplete the roster when we can develop these guys more and see who's going to be a part of the future?
Real quick, what's Grimes ceiling? In your opinion, what is Grimes ceiling?
Honestly, I think he could be like a 20-point scorer. I like the comparison of Allen Houston. That's a real nice comparison right there. He's a shooter. He plays good defense. He plays hard, and I think his game is improving. Like we saw it in summer league. He's been working on his handle, trying to work off the dribble. So he's not just, you know, locked into a 3-and-D role. He's got more to his game than that. And if you look back, he was a 5-star coming out of high school. He went to Kansas. Everybody thought he'd be one and done. But as we know, sometimes it takes longer for these guys to develop. And he went to Houston. Things kind of developed a little more. And now I think he's a key piece of our future here. So I'm glad they didn't give up Grimes because I would have been upset. If I had to pick, I was going to say IQ would be the one in the trade that I'd give up. But even that, I wouldn't feel that great about. But at the end, I don't think we should have given up anybody for Donovan Mitchell. If this
Clearly.
Huh?
Clearly, you don't think that. Clearly, yeah. I mean, even IQ couldn't get traded. Damn.
No. I'm saying IQ could get traded for Donovan Mitchell, but like at what cost? We're giving up what 6 first-round picks at this point. That's what they wanted.
They didn't get that.
They didn't get that. Yeah, because
they got 2 swaps and 3 firsts.
Yeah, because that was the New York tax. They wanted to rob us, and the bank is closed.
I mean, I don't know how giving up RJ Barrett didn't get the deal done. RJ Barrett is an incredible player, right? Like, how did that not make them
because they wanted more. Clearly, they wanted more than just RJ and 2 unprotected first-round picks.
That's crazy.
But I thought that's fine. We're just take RJ and the first-round picks, and cool. We got Grimes still. We got IQ, but they wanted Grimes. They wanted probably IQ along with that. I'm not cool with that.
I agree that would have been a bad deal for the Knicks. You don't want to give up all that stuff. Grimes and IQ, I thought was kind of where it would stop, or maybe Grimes and Obi, and then you kind of move on. Like I thought that's kind of where the deal would stop. I think Grimes is going to be really, really good.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be really, really good. I think
he should be the starting 2 this year, but you know, money talks, and Fournier, I guess they got to figure that out too, because they've been including him in deals, and who knows?
They can't get rid of him.
Yeah, I know. He was going to be in that deal, but of course it didn't come to fruition. So
they won't do the Knicks any favors.
Looking at this Cleveland roster, so now you got Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, you got Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen. What do we think about this team? So in a 7-game series, if they saw some of these other teams in the Eastern Conference, I'm going to list them. You tell me if they beat any of these teams in a 7-game series. the current Cleveland roster, right, going against Miami.
No,
7-game series.
I don't think so.
They could beat them. They could beat them, bro. I don't. I mean, I'll give Miami the edge because of experience. I'll say Miami against 7. They could beat that team though. I'm just keeping it a buck. It's a coin flip for me.
It all depends on Evan Mobley. I think he's the key to this team. Like if he turns out to be like KG, then they got something. They got real potential in the East.
They could beat that. They could beat that Miami team. I'm changing my opinion. I think Cavs could win that series, bro. Cavs in 7. I would take them.
Boston Celtics.
I'm gonna go Boston off of what the defense they've established, the way they play. I think they've established enough of a championship pedigree at this point for me to pick them in a series, and I think they're ascending. I think Jaylen Brown's getting better. I think they're a good team. We'll see if the trade talks didn't ruin their team. We'll find out. But I'd take the Celtics.
The Nets. What about y'all?
If this is a loaded question, if the Nets are healthy and they're all right, and everyone's in the court, which I think everyone will be, I would pick the Nets to win that series. I think the Nets are a better team. I think they've got all the wings they've added. Ben Simmons' defensive ability to cover any of those guys, maybe except JA. I think they'd win that series. And KD, they have the best players in the series too. They have the best players in the series by a pretty large margin. I think the Nets should win that series.
Yeah, I would have the Nets in like 5 in that series, honestly.
I do think the Nets would beat them handily. I think they'd win in 6 tops.
And then the Bucks. What about the Bucks too? I was just
the Bucks.
The Bucks are the best player in the series. I think. I gotta. You get 7 games. Giannis can really can curb stomp those guys. It's Giannis. Like I'm giving that credit. So I'll take the Bucks. I take the Bucks. I think Drew Holiday and those guys have a known rapport. I'll take them over the Cavs.
What about another team that was above them this last year in the playoffs, 76ers?
Oh, Cavs. The Cavs beat that team.
He don't like the fat suit. He don't like him.
I don't like the fat suit, but think about the construction of that team. Seriously, I mean, compare the starting fives. When you talk about the Sixers, you have PJ Tucker, James Harden, Embiid, and who are you filling in those are the 2 spots? Is it Daniel House or something random
Max?
Excuse me. I love Maxey. Really, really good player. So, but no, I think that the Cavs would beat them. I think the Cavs are starting 5 and just overall team with Kevin Love coming off the bench and the other guys they have. Okoro probably is a starter, but
Karis LeVert coming off the bench too.
Karis coming off the bench? Oh. Yeah, man. Look, and that
they're going to start. They're going to start Okoro. They're going to start Okoro with DG, Donovan Mitchell, Mobley, Jared Allen.
Hey, I'm keeping it a buck with you. Let's see how long that lasts.
Yeah, Okoro's not that good.
Okoro's not good. I see why they're doing it because defense, corner 3-point shooting. I see why. Like another guy you don't need Donovan Mitchell and Karis on the court at the same time because they both like to have the ball in the hands of play a certain kind of way. But let's see how long that lasts. Seriously, Okoro had some real rough spots last year, and actually, he's a big part of the reason why that team struggled on the stretch. He was just not making corner threes.
So hold up, he's gonna start over Karis?
That was a rumor.
That's what they're saying. What they're saying.
Yeah, Antonio's right, bro. He's right. I was hearing that.
They was thinking about doing that. That way, Karis could run and play how he want to play, and he run that whole second crew.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Karis, I don't want to be there anymore.
I think Karis. That's the real, and I think they're trying to talk about an extension with him too. So they want him around, but you may have to start that guy. He's earned it in this league, by the way. He's earned the right to be a starter in the NBA.
I think it all falls really on Bernie Bickerstaff and being able to figure it out.
Yeah.
A lot of actual good coaches will tell you, give me the talent, I'll figure the rest out.
Right.
You got to figure that out. I think you got to figure it out somehow to make that mesh and work. And that's between DG, who I think out of all of them is the most willing passer out of all of them. DG, Donovan Mitchell, and Karis LeVert. I think that falls on D. Mitch and LeVert, how they going to balance out with each other.
Yep.
Last team, Raptors. Cavs, Raptors.
Cavs. This trade's put them over them. And also the Raptors didn't get any better this offseason. They're the same team. So I'm definitely going to go with the Cavs there. Unless Pascal suddenly became, the blood diamond Michael Jordan. Which I don't think happened. So
now we got D Mitch and we got DG in the backcourt. Best backcourts. Who you got? DG, Donovan Mitchell, Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine.
DG, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah. DG and Donovan Mitchell.
D'Lo and Edwards.
I still would take DG, Donovan Mitchell.
And Edwards is better than any of the players you named, though. Just worth mentioning. And Edwards might be better than all players named. I love DG. DG and Don are the better backcourt.
This one should be funny. DG, Donovan Mitchell, Tyrese Maxey, James Harden.
Do I gotta say it? Do I really have to say it?
I know you want to say Tyrese and James.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. James. Yeah. All right. James is going to roll his way to the regular season this year.
DG, Donovan Mitchell, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown.
DG, Donovan Mitchell. They're more talented backcourt. Marcus Smart's in it. He's cool, whatever. He played good D or whatever, but
I
love Jaylen Brown though. He's the best player. He's the best player of all the players you've named. Yeah,
I was going to say that I like the Jaylen Brown in that situation. Out of all the four players, Jaylen Brown is the best.
He's the best one.
Yeah.
What about DG, Donovan Mitchell, and Klay Thompson, Steph Curry?
Well, Clay's a little washed up, but you got to take Steph Curry and Clay play. So,
how about Spida DG against John Morant, Desmond Bain?
John Morant, Desmond Bain win that one for me.
Yeah,
because of how good John Morant's he's just ridiculous. So yeah,
and Bain took a nice step last year.
He did.
I'm sure I know the answer for this one from both of y'all, but we gotta ask for the people. Spida DG against Luka and Tim Hardaway Jr.
Luka. This is him alone. He's one of the 5 superstars in basketball.
Dang.
You can do DG and Donovan versus Luka, and I still take Luka.
You could do DG and Donovan versus Luka and me, and I still take Luka.
I was just about to say, like, that Joker didn't even mention Hardaway. They said Luka.
I don't think Tim Hardaway would mention himself in this conversation.
Spida Mitchell, DG, Trey, and DeJounte.
DG, Donovan Mitchell.
I agree. I think that's a disgusting backcourt too. DG, Spida. What, you having second thoughts on that one?
That's hard. Trey is incredible. Trey's incredible, yo. We don't play even a lick of defense, but neither the DG and Dom don't play defense either. And Trey took that team over to the conference finals the year before. I may have to take that. I may have to take Trey, bro. I gotta put a similar amount of respect on Trey's name that I put on Luka. They're not the same, but Trey is a superstar type guy. So I'm gonna go Trey and DeJounte.
Last one. DG, Donovan Mitchell against CP3 and Devin Booker.
Oh, 16 Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Come on.
We're gonna end off the show with this. We talking about it in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Greg brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
Who you want?
Mm-hmm.
Best players, 25 and under.
Oh, he lucky. I thought you think, Miles dodged the bullet. This is what you're doing? Okay. Miles dodged the bullet. I thought you were going somewhere else.
Oh, where you thought I was going?
Jets.
No. Would you rather with RJ Barrett? I thought you were going there for a second.
Oh, same thing, because RJ Barrett is the main denominator in all of these.
Yeah, he got his contract. Let's talk about it. He got his contract, and he's the future of the New York Knicks. We should do this. Would you rather? And we'll do it with the top 25 players, and under 25 players, I should say.
Under 25, yeah. So, would you rather
go off of every single one?
Not everyone. That's ridiculous.
Oh, I got.
Maybe a couple. You got a list. You know, you got a list.
I got a nice little.
I would like to hear Miles' opinion on this, anyways.
Would you rather R.J. Barrett, Luka Doncic?
Come on now, this is like
I had to start
like Will Chamberlain or Dikembe Mutombo. It's like, what the hell?
Luka is
R.J. Barrett, Trae Young.
Oh, Trae Young.
Trae Young.
I didn't hear. I had to register.
R.J. Barrett. Would you rather R.J. Barrett, John Morant?
John Morant.
Demetrius, of course.
Would you rather R.J. Barrett, LaMelo Ball?
LaMelo.
LaMelo Ball.
Would you rather R.J. Barrett, Jordan Poole?
Poole. I'll take a Poole. Look. I'll take a Poole, though. I'm taking Poole for sure. Look at him. Look at him. Oh my God.
You got RJ over Jordan Poole?
I mean, we're naming guys who have actually been given a chance to, prove themselves for a full season.
What?
Like, RJ didn't get the reins until like the second half of the year. One, he's still developing his game. So this is like a guy who plays defense, or a guy who.
Look at the excuses.
I think in the long run, I'd take RJ.
Well, okay.
That's
interesting.
Would you rather RJ Barrett, Sadiq Bey?
RJ.
Sadiq Bey.
Would you rather RJ Barrett or Jalen Green?
Jalen Green. Look. Yo, Jalen Green, bro. Jalen Green is far more talented. Leaps and bounds. This is nuts. I can't believe it.
What? Are you waiting on my answer?
Yes, I'm waiting on your answer.
I mean, if he gets his head around him, yeah, Jalen Green.
What's wrong with his head?
I think you're referencing shot selection.
Is that what he's referencing, really?
Shot selection
and passing a little more.
All right.
Not just about scoring, unless
I'm not saying that.
Speak your mind, coach.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the talent. We talking about talent level. The talent disparity between these two players is vast. It is. Jalen Green is a far better prospect. I am taking Jalen. I'll take my chance with Jalen Green and have him and coach him up the right way so he plays basketball he plays basketball the right way. That's the way we deal with this. But RJ is not as talented as him. It's not the same. I'm not taking RJ over Jalen Green in any world. Why would I do that? Why would you do that?
Would you rather? We got a couple more left. This one should be interesting. This has touched a special chord on this podcast multiple times. Would you rather RJ Barrett or Tyler Hero?
RJ. You could giggle and all that stuff. It's cool. We know you want to pick your white mamba. That's what you want to do.
Yo, in this case, white is right. I'm taking Tyler Hero.
All right, go for it.
I gotta take Tyler Hero, bro. Come on, there's pedigree there. It's pedigree there. I know he plays on a better team, but 6 Man of the Year awards don't grow on trees. He can easily start for most teams in the NBA. He's a far more skilled offensive player. He's got counters in his bag. He doesn't just attack in straight lines. I know he's not the defensive player that RJ is, but he's just a better offensive player. Just purely a way better offensive player. And that and RJ's in a good enough
2022, 2023, we coming. We waiting.
Oh my God. RJ's not a good enough defender to make up that gap between the two players. If RJ was like a lockup defender, if RJ had Lou Dort's defensive ability, I would pick RJ. Seriously, he does not. He's not that good of a defender. He's just not. It's not true. Don't let the Knicks propaganda fool you. Tyler Hero's a better player. Y'all worse than the Nazis, I swear.
Take the white man.
Would you rather RJ Barrett, Tyrese Maxey?
Tyrese.
All right.
We got 4 more left. Would you rather Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett?
Scotty.
There we go. There we go.
Would you rather RJ Barrett, Evan Mobley?
Mobley.
Oh my, yeah, Mobley. Yes.
Would you rather, you just mentioned him, RJ Barrett, Darius Garland?
Probably DG.
Probably Darius Garland by a country mile. Darius Garland.
I obviously don't need to mention Anthony Edwards. I don't need to mention Zion.
No, you don't.
Last person. He has not played a game yet.
You didn't need to mention Darius Garland.
I didn't, but I just wanted to I didn't need to mention Luka either. I just did it just to have something to post, just to make sure we were all on the same page with that.
You have to establish a line of logic, so I understand why you're doing it, of course.
RJ Barrett, would you rather RJ Barrett or Paolo Banchero?
Paolo.
He's a 6'10" forward who could dribble and shoot. So yeah.
They're special there. Right? Like there's special written on this game, but like with RJ, I don't see special. I think that's where we have the problem. Okay, because we talk about RJ Barrett, we're gonna just wrap the conversation. Let's wrap it right here. Let's wrap it. If we're gonna talk about RJ Barrett, what does that guy do really, really well? What does he do really, really well? Is there anything he does on the basketball court really, really, really well? With Darius Garland is shot creation. John Moran is shot creation. You know, like all these guys have something to do really, really well. Trae Young, an amazing shooter, shot creation. There's something at a high level. Jalen Green, shot creation. Does it at a high level. He's better than most at it. Even now, it's just not refined, but you see the raw ability. It's there. What does he do at a great, great, great level? Knicks fans should ask themselves that when they talk about this $104 million contract, which isn't a bad contract, but they're talking about it and you talk about the future, and you're talking about RJ Barrett and him being your future, and you're talking yourselves into that. What does that guy do really, really well?
He can get downhill. Nobody can really
does not do that very, very well, though.
But once he starts finishing at the level that he can, then
that's the whole point of getting downhill.
Yeah.
I don't care if a player can get downhill if you're not finishing the basket. You gotta finish.
Takes time.
It takes
not everybody can be, Kevin Durant right off the bat, or
he was picked top 3. That's the standard.
That's the standard.
At top 3, that's the standard. No. I mean, it's not Kevin Durant per se, but it's like it's Ja, it's Darius Garland. It's that's the standard.
You're right. But at the same time, nobody's on DeAndre Hunter's head about how he's been playing.
He's actually not bad. He's not bad at all. He's a good pro, man. He's really not bad. I get what you're saying. I get it.
There's been more conversations about RJ Barrett than most NBA players at this stage in their career.
He plays for the Knicks, and he was a top pick.
Yeah, and he never shied away from that. He's not shying away from it now.
He probably
he's still working on his game. So I think he takes that as a badge of honor, playing for the Knicks, which most players wouldn't. He wanted to come to play for the Knicks. So that means he knew what was coming with it. If he played on the Grizzlies or the Pelicans, we wouldn't be talking about him with such, disdain as you do. But because he plays for the Knicks, there's all this negativity that comes with,
it's not the fact he plays for the Knicks, though. So it's who you guys passed up.
It is.
It's who you guys passed up on to take him. And I was saying in the draft, and I have people. I'm telling you, I can corroborate this. I have people. I said, hey, y'all got to take this kid Darius Garland. He's the one. Got to take him. You got to take him. And I was saying it before the draft. I was beating that drum. And then y'all took RJ Barrett. Of course, you guys did. And I was like, damn, you guys made a huge mistake. You're going to look back at this and be upset when Darius Garland gets going. People laughed at me when Darius Garland got hurt early in his career because it didn't look like it was going to go anywhere. And then, boom, it happened. Just like that. I saw it. I saw it in high school. I saw special. It's there. I don't see special with RJ Barrett. There's nothing. It's not special. It's not special. You know what? And to be fair, it wasn't special with Andrew Wiggins either. And there was a lot of hype about him, and there was no special. It was never there. I never loved that guy. I never loved his game. It's the same thing. And it's not just because they're both Canadian. It's the same thing. I'm telling you, this is a good comp.
So hold up. If he's averaging like 24, 25 points a game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, team is in like the top 5 range.
Okay.
We're still just writing them off.
True. Things are
still writing them off. No, that's because that's how it feels.
But you know what's funny?
That's what it feels like.
I like when Knicks fans throw numbers at me because you know though that little Knicks fan TV account be posting all the numbers and be like, oh, RJ averaged 20 points this year. That's more than Fred VanVleet. So he's better than Fred VanVleet? We both know he's not. We both know numbers don't mean everything.
No, it's right. But that means there's talent there. You can't say that he's not a talented player in this league.
He's talented. Everyone in the NBA is talented, though. That don't mean
I don't know if you see it that way.
Everyone's talented.
You got your skewed few.
That's not it. And you know what I'm right. This guy doesn't have he does not have top 3 picks special written on his game. He does not have that. He does not. When the guy taken after you was an all-star last year and leads his team to heights, crazy heights. Come on, man. Like, what are we talking about? Like, you know special when you see it. You know special when you see it. I think you know in your heart of hearts, RJ is not special.
Yo, I totally forgot to mention. That's my bad. Didn't mention him on the list. He just got traded. Would you rather RJ Barrett or Colin Sexton?
For him, it's easy. I don't see special on Colin Sexton's game, but I think he has moments where he's special. He's been special. I like Colin Sexton's game a little more than like RJ's game. To be honest with you. I mean, I'll keep it stat.
That's because you like him slapping the floor and
I don't
slobbering while he's playing defense. That's the type of guy you like. That's the AAU mentality you like.
It's really not. It's really not. In fact, you know me, I know I hate that stuff. I hate all the extra stuff. I hate the fat Bev nonsense and all that crap. But no, seriously, he has the ability to take over a game, and I'll take him. I'll take him over RJ. RJ got to prove me wrong. That's all I'm saying, man.
I won't say nothing then.
When you prove me wrong, yeah, you will.
I ain't gonna say.
And look, I hope he does prove me wrong because I hope he does. But at the same time, I don't know where it's coming from. I'm gonna keep it a stat.
Man, you got your legs crossed, fingers crossed behind that screen. You don't wish anything good for RJ. Just admit it. You want to see him not succeed.
That's not true. That's not true. But this goes to the pain of a long-suffering Knicks fan. I told y'all that Darius Garland was going to hunt. I told him he was going to haunt him.
What about Tyrese Halliburton?
Oh, Tyrese is
yeah.
miles better.
And Anthony Simons?
Anthony Simons miles better too.
Who?
Anthony Simons is miles better than him. The irony of what I'm saying, by the way, miles better. But yeah, he's Tell me he's not, Miles.
No, he's a good player, and I think.
Don't.
No, go ahead. You continue on your rant. I'll let you finish.
Yo, before we close out, speaking of Colin Sexton, they gave him a new contract. What do you think Colin Sexton actually is in this NBA, and how do you think another player that got traded there, THT, do they kind of revive their careers in good old Utah?
Well, I think THT has a better chance of doing that, just because now he's out of that shadow. As we've seen a lot of the young players that leave LA when LeBron's been there, they have a chance to grow. They have a chance to show what they can do in the NBA because they're not just standing there watching the man dribble the whole time, which I'm not saying LeBron's just like some ball hog, but when you play on a LeBron team, this is what comes with it. Like, he's the guy. There's no room really for you to get your buckets off, show what you can really do. So now he's on this awful team and he can show what he can do. Like, that's what you're supposed to do on a bad team. If you got talent, you better show it, because there's 29 other teams in the league that are watching you too.
He is the typical Chicago basketball player in the sense that he has to have the ball in his hands in ISO situations to create. So I think he'll look better just by default because he'll have more opportunities like that. But if you're on a LeBron team, like Miles is saying, if you can't play off the catch, if you don't make threes, and you can't play efficiently off the catch with your dribbles and get the pull-ups and get the floaters, you're not going to be very good playing with LeBron James. And THT was not very good he wasn't good at all shooting off the catch. So it eliminated him from being effective for the Lakers. But I think he has a good chance there. And I think Colin Sexton's gonna have the ball in his hands. He's gonna have a chance to create. He's a talented player. He can go out there and average 22 points a game in a regular NBA season. He can do that. He really can. And it won't look really hard.
What's Colin Sexton's ceiling?
In today's NBA, being an all-star is tough. He could have a crazy year one of these years, though.
Like a top 15 point guard. I could see it.
I think he can get. He's the kind of guy where at the end of his career, if you told me he was an all-star twice, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, he's a guy who's going to probably get close. I think his ceiling's like a Dinwiddie ceiling, like that kind of player, like just microwave guy, come in, heat you up, get buckets, and he can start for you too in a pinch. So I think Dinwiddie's kind of the guy I look at. I'm like, oh, okay, like I can see his career kind of being like that. Like, I can see it.
Well, Dennis Schroeder now has beat Giannis, Luka, and Jokic. And is still a free agent. Dennis Schroeder, we all made jokes and he dropped the bag.
He did.
Still ball. Dennis Schroeder needs to be signed. And obviously, as a free agent right now, he's staying ready. And you know the vibes here. If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Bench mob, ENT, we out. Peace.
Peace.